was drunk last night. I raised some hell, I posted. But hey, everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at you today with a VeVe, OMI, Definity, DEVVE, daCat, SHIRO, DMC update video. Got a little bit to go over tonight. It is going to be my last night for a little while, at least for tomorrow, because we have the charity thing. We'd raised thousands of dollars for First Responders Children's Foundation, and the winner of that auction gets to go and spend some time with me tomorrow through next week. It'll be really fun. I think the winner's actually getting there tonight, and then I get there, like I said, tomorrow. And then you have Tammy, Omi Homies, Max, and Janie, and then VeVe Magic joining for the rest of the week. And then you also have Dog Boy and Rita that's going to join at some point in the week. And then you also have a bunch of people coming in. Yo Steph is going to be there for a bit, and we're just going to have a bunch of awesome people coming in and hanging out. Just VeVe fam getting together. It's going to be really hot, so I might do a little shave. I might do a little of that. But shout out to VeVe fam for just raising that amount of money for charity and doing awesome stuff. And shout out to Turtle Golf for just always donating a lot of time and money and giveaways, hosting Whale Week and all that. So good times. Anyway, let's do a who just messaged. Okay, there's a lot of people messaging me. Okay, if you want to support the channel, links down below to everything. All right, let's get to this bread. We've had a crazy day. I think there's now an 87% chance for rate cuts in September. You do have markets that just went absolutely crazy today. I think they say ETH went to all-time high, but I'm not 100% sure that's how it happened, because when Watcher Guru reported on it, and it was Watcher Guru and other people as well, 233 million ETH, and IRS, crypto, government. I can't find it right now. I swear I had it. But they had mentioned it, and I was like, and then Crypto Cosmos said, well, actually, I think it was like $10 more than that. So it might have wicked up there in a buy and then came back down. Not sure, but either way, ETH is up 13% on the day, which is insane because it was like 42.50 or 42.25 just yesterday. Heck, even 12 hours ago. So it's really up 13, almost 14% in like 12 hours, which is. And then if you take a look at ETH, which is the volatility stock over on NASDAQ, that is up 29% today. After hours, it's down 1/3%, but oh my God, like that is just absolutely bananas. I was expecting MicroStrategy. I think MSTR was fair today. MicroStrategy actually went up 6% on the day, but the MSTU, the one that's supposed to be double that, did not. Oh no, it was actually up 11% on the day, but a month ago, it was up to like $9, and 6 months, it was up to like 10 something. So it's still really down from where it was. Maybe that. So again, not even the options games, the leveraging, just the volatility might just, it's hard. But if you got ETH, like you could have gotten ETH, I think at like $38, and now it's like 187. Did almost like a 6x. Did a 5x. I think a buddy of mine got it. I think got it doubled. I think got it at like $90. It was insane. And Ash Crypto Real says Ethereum just recorded its highest daily close ever in history, which is absolutely insane. That's absolutely incredible. This is a really my friend that told me about it just texted me like, thank goodness I have ETH. It did super well today. I wonder if they're listening. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. But let's see how that affected the rest of the market. Let's do Definity, because Definity did some good stuff. Something happened the other day where Definity was just down like a week ago. It's up to like 3.7 cents, I think. And then it had 3 whales just dump the fudge out of it over this past week and got it down to like 2 cents. Unfortunately, I could only put in like $1,000. I should have put in more. I should have just unloaded everything there. But yeah. But either way, it's up 50 something percent now. It's like 12% on the day, but it literally went from 2 cents. Now it's up to 3.3 cents. So I should have just unloaded. I didn't. I could even show you on the charts here where it went down to. Yeah, a week ago, 3.5 cents, dips down to 2, back up to 3.2. So it's a wicked cup and handle, I think, is forming there, and I'm very happy I was able to. I should have went hardcore, but certain things happen. You have a little fun. I There's so many times where I was like, okay, I've put in enough into crypto. Let me just enjoy my life, and then I enjoyed life this week a lot. I enjoyed life. It's been so busy the past like 10 days. When I get back, I feel like Iron Man in Iron Man 3. It's like nothing's been the same since New York. um, so I've been exceedingly busy and live life, and it's great. It's fantastic. But um, there's people used to ask me what my favorite part about being in the veterinary field was, because like how like there are some days you see more death than life. I feel like I always pick career fields like that. Um, and like, how does that, how do you like deal with that over the course of a long period of time? I was in the veterinary field for the better part of a decade before I went to the military. And it was when an animal comes in sick, like it is, it is not good. Like obviously the different variations of that, but when they're really like, oh, this animal is not like, it might not make it. And then you just do stuff to, okay, do this for that, X, Y, and Z, treatments, and then after a couple days, oh, getting better. Okay, what's the heart rate these days? How's the capillary refill time? How's like all of this? And it's like, okay, the animal gets better, and granted, like and follow directions of like the doctor, anyone could do it, right? But most people don't. It felt like that made it all worth it, and that was why I stood in that career field for so long. For crypto, and again, the last 3.5 years been god awful, but over the last several months, yeah, I feel like that line of the Eddie Guerrero story, cheating death and stealing life. He says like, I'd go after he has that redemption arc, because like I'd go through all the pain and suffering again, and the as much fun as it is in real life doing it, and that's the goal, right? To have fun with friends and loved ones, but the going in and buying things that nobody believes in, buying things that just nobody will take a look at, and then watching like things happen. So there's talking about Definity here, and again, I could say this for Definity, DEVVE, OMI, daCat, SHIRO, DMC. Unfortunately, I'm not part of the team. I'm not that I'm part of. I'm not part of the VeVe team or anything, right? But like DMC, I'm they sponsor the channel. We love them, but and again, it's just about like Definity, seeing things come together, and it's like, oh my god, I cannot wait. And seeing it slowly happen and slowly roll out. And I was telling a friend this morning, I was on the phone with her, and it was like, or actually, it was like last night. It's like, what were you doing? It's like, oh, I was going over what I was going over. I'm not gonna say I'm live. And I can't wait for people to see it. And this again is about Definity. I in the same way that I like going to play Pokemon games a certain way. I was telling a friend the other night, like I like Charizard and Beedrill. Like it seems like a really uneven team. Like, oh, Beedrill, that's one of your mains. Like, yeah, Beedrill's freaking awesome in Gen 1. Or when I was even people in the Pokemon community, 2018, 2019, buying these first edition PSA 10s, like $600, bro. It's like half a month's rent. third a month, you know, like, but they would say something like that, you know, it's a lot. It's like, you spend more on Pokemon cards this month than I did on rent. You spend more on this month, you know, than I did on rent. And it's like, yeah, I did. And they're like, you know, that's a lot, man. It's like, yeah, it is, but it's undervalued. And then it goes insane a few years later. It's like, told y'all. Same thing with the Trophy Kangaskhan, same thing. And the same thing is now happening in crypto, where I wish it didn't feel like this, because like, who am I proving wrong? Like there's, it's one thing if you have someone of like substance, someone that's made money in here, and be like, that says like, hey, you know what, I understand why you're investing in this, and why you think X, Y, and Z is going to happen. And I'm not saying that it can't, but I'm saying that if I'm going to place my money on what's going to win, I'm not going to place it on this, even though it could. The odds are that it won't. Like I love those conversations, and I love that difference in philosophy when it comes to investing. But that's those are not the people who ever like made fun of me. Those are not the people who ever like really care too much to like comment on the videos. The people that were commenting on these like on these videos like OMI's trash or these things are trash are generally not smart people. And it's like, okay, like it's like, you ever see that meme where this guy is like winning like part of the Olympics, and he's just like, you know, he cracks open a bottle with his teeth and he's like spraying it everywhere, like he's celebrating, but he's in like 8th place. It's like, I'm celebrating, like, okay, you won, yeah, you're proving them wrong, but that bar is not very high. So again, I wish it didn't feel like this. I wish it could be like, okay, you know, this was always going to happen, because it was. But yeah, anywho, that's Definity. We've got, I will write probably several books on just from like 2020 through now, 2022 through now. I'll let y'all know when that's coming. Back up to a $5 million market cap, and did it over really like no volume, $3,600 in volume. That's Definity. Let's go daCat. Let's see where our kitty's doing here. And I might get a daCat tattoo in the next week. daCat also up 13.5%, $3 million market. It's back up over $3 million market cap. A little over 4. There's more volume on daCat today than there is on Definity. And then you have $678,000 in liquidity. I repeat, you have $678,000 in liquidity. There is more liquidity on Uniswap for daCat than there is of any other token that I'm going to talk about today, maybe with the exception of DEVVE. Because DEVVE, let's see, where is DEVVE here? Yes, DEVVE. Now, granted, DEVVE's a $41 million market cap. It's like 13x the market cap of Definity, and it has more liquidity, 771,000, and pretty much the same as daCat, where the pool is split pretty evenly. Like, there's a couple thousand more dollars of DEVVE than there is in ETH, but 386,000 in DEVVE, 382,000 in ETH. And looking at daCat, it's pretty much the same. daCat has a little bit more daCat in it. $343,000 of daCat, $336,000 of Ethereum. So there is a little bit more of daCat in there than there is in Ethereum. Usually it's split pretty evenly, but you have about 10,000 more. But again, like, when you have $336,000 just of straight ETH, anyone can go in and feel free to put in a couple $100,000 in there, because they know they can take it out. Because these contracts are announced, the liquidity is locked. Nobody's touching that for 997 years. What's up, Connor? How's it going, fam? What are we doing? Well, oh, Potsy still here. Let's go. Potsy, can you come to Comic-Con this year, please? I feel like you don't go to these things, and you should. You 100% should. We gotta talk. We gotta call me after. You know, I'll call you after this if you are still. Oh God, I misspelled your name. Huh? Why? Okay, calling you after my live, because there's stuff we got to talk about. What's up, Smart Buy? How's it going? ETH up. Talk about interest rate cut. Next is VeVe. Yeah, the rate cut, like 87% chance that we get one in September. I don't know how much. 50 basis points is like how much. Like, I'm very curious. We'll see. Little Ren saying, let's go. Let's freaking go. Go. Cool Mo, thanks for being a member. It'll be there Friday night. All right, can't wait. Can't wait. We're going to have some karaoke. Going to have a lot of stuff. What's up, Connor? Tammy. Oh, girl. Tammy's in a very good mood because she had a very good week. Yeah, supposedly. I don't know. Maybe she did, but I think she's very happy for a couple of reasons. Walrus King says, glory days, Randy. It's a great time. I was talking to a buddy of mine a while back. I talk to people. Talking to a buddy of mine earlier today, and I was saying like, "Hey, stuff's going on here, and here," and he was saying that we were going over a bunch of things. I was like, "Okay, well, what, now that we hadn't talked in a while, I was like, what are you investing in now?" I was like, "Well, let's say in a couple months I get like a 100K, right? Let's say I get like a windfall, 100 grand, pulling that number out of nowhere, and if I do that." I would probably split it mostly between, DEVVE, Definity, OMI, like evenly, like in thirds, if it's still down here at this time. But the other 10%, like, okay, if it's split in third, 30%, 30%, where's the other 10%? It would go to DACat. And I told him, like, listen, I would have said the same thing in April, like, okay, everything's down, time to load up. And if I would have done that, 30% in DACat, 30% in DEVVE, 30% in Definity, 30% in OMI, and 10% in DACat. DACat would have, like, since April, Definity, DEVVE, and OMI are either the same, maybe down a little bit. DACat is up 7x. So I told my friend, like, listen, I would have said the same thing, like, that 30% for each, and then DACat gets 10%. I would have said the same thing in April, and I would have been wildly wrong. It would have been much better for me to put all of my eggs into DACat because it's done a 7x since then. And, it's the other stuff hasn't moved yet. But now, again, I totally, yeah, so I'm still putting in DACat here. And then I told him, like, listen, if there's a $100,000 payment coming my way, if I were to get that in let's say like November, just another month thrown out there for no reason. If I were to get that in November, if DEVVE's $3, by that point, because like they have at that point it's Q4, and maybe their exchange partner, whoever it is, may or may not be announced by that point. If it is, then if it is, even if it's not, DEVVE can still be $3, $5 by that point. If it is, it's going to be insane, right? Like $10 plus, in my opinion. And if DEVVE's at those prices, like I'm not going to put any more in DEVVE at that point. Despite me thinking that it can definitely go higher, I just, if DEVVE has run but Definity and OMI have not, then that answer is going to change. It's going to be wildly different. And he says, yeah, of course. And so I said the same thing for if OMI runs, probably not. Like if OMI's half a penny by that point, I'm not putting any money in OMI at that. But I'll keep it in the stuff that hasn't run yet. And if they all have run and the cat's still down here, well, that's my IP. I'm going to go in and I'm going to get that bread. So there have been also a couple of calls, like especially today, especially on days like today, like the busiest days, right? Going over and saying like, hey, I heard this is happening. Should I get in? It's like, well, the best time to get into ETH was, at like 1,500, right? Like 1,200, like whatever it went down to. I think, and I know it's like just reached near all-time high. I think it doubles again. You have now Tom Lee, who again, like the Asian Michael Saylor of Ethereum, and he legit talked. And this is an old meme that I posted. It's not even a meme. It's just like a, what is it? Oh my gosh, where is it? Path to alt season. Phase one is Bitcoin flow of money moves into Bitcoin, causing prices to surge. That's been happening like the past year. The phase overlap is some money flows into Ethereum, but it kind of struggles to keep up with Bitcoin. And then, you know, Ethereum goes back and forth with Bitcoin, and which we've kind of seen. But phase two is Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin, and we hear talks of the flippening. Without fail, every single cycle, people say like, yeah, I think Ethereum could build. Yeah, Bitcoin's a great store of value, but everything that's anything is built on Ethereum. Like Bitcoin is great, but all the technology, all the people, all the utility, you know, that's on ETH. I have a hair in my mouth, and I can't get it out. Oh my god, this is so annoying. Why is your hair? Why is your tongue so good at picking up hair? Like I don't know why. It was insane. Give me 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. I don't know why your tongue is so good at knowing when it's got a hair on it. Anyway, without fail, every cycle, someone's like, yeah, Ethereum's going to flip Bitcoin. And a lot of people this past year said, like, listen, Chavez, like, that's a cool chart. And, like, yes, this was right in the past, but nobody's going to talk about Ethereum flipping Bitcoin now. It's just not going to happen. Like people are too smart. They're too evolved. They've grown up. Tom Lee is a exceedingly smart individual. And you have him saying that Ethereum is going to out. Like, do I think Ethereum will flip Bitcoin? Not anytime soon. ETH would have to do like a 5x to get like close to Bitcoin's market cap, and that's what Bitcoin doesn't do anything at all. So 5x, like what, 18? Like no, it's at 40. You're at like 20 something $1,000. I'm pretty sure ETH gets to 9 to 10. ETH would have to get to like $25,000 almost to be kind of close to Bitcoin, and that's Bitcoin at the. And I think Bitcoin does another doubling, maybe a tripling. You know, like who knows? Like if Josh Mandel is correct, then it does like a 3 point whatever X, you know, to get to 444,000. So we're officially in phase two because people, not just the random people at like a barbecue that like don't really know anything. They're just like, yeah, I think ETH can flip Bitcoin. Like you have a major whale, incredibly intelligent personality go and talk about that. Now others will echo it, and obviously the stuff that is on Ethereum is going to do really well. After that, the phase goes, money starting to trickle into large caps, where we see large buy-ups happening. And you do see that every now and then. A lot of times it's really from institutions, but it's not it hasn't happened. I mean, today, like everything's up. So, you know, Solana's up 10%. I think that's like 200 now. A lot of Stake up 13%. Dogecoin up 10%. It's at 23 cents. And there are a couple of things up double digits, but that next phase into phase three hasn't started happening yet, where money starts to go into those large caps. Phase three officially is when Ethereum has been outperforming Bitcoin for a while, and large caps just go parabolic, right? Like you have like your Cardanos, you have your Solanas, maybe like Doge, and that's all well and good. The phase that we're all like waiting for, which might take another several months, is phase four, alt season. Now the phase overlap before then is when, like, regardless of market cap, some altcoins with strong fundamentals are just having pumps. Like even though like they're already could be billions or tens of billions of dollars, and they do like a 2x. Like, bro, what? You know, gaining like $10 billion of market cap in like a day, in like an hour, seems insane. But when that happens, and then alt season can happen really, really quick, and there's narratives, and it's crazy. Data was bought mint 8788 ultra rare season 1 Delorean today. Lovely mint, looking like a speedometer, counting up to 888. My new favorite collectible. Get that bread, JTOR. Let's go over Delorean here real quick, because I haven't gotten to it. Wait, what? My session has, I don't care if my session has expired. I just want to go to Delorean. Hey, they're up 10% on the day. Let's go. Let's go, Delorean. Get that bread. Go Monstars, go Monstars, go, go. Name that reference. Go Monstars, go Monstars, go, go. Name that reference. Name that movie. $14 million market cap, 14 million in volume for DMC. Let's see if there's been anything that we should go in and talk about. I don't know what they're talking about. Making my own decision. I can't believe they have the Yeezy thing up there. Yeezy legit rugged his people. I was insane. Ledger saying, join us next week for a space of some amazing peeps, amazing reps of projects from across the SUI network ecosystem, which is obviously going to be, you're going to have Delorean on there. They reposted it. And that's it for today for the news for Delorean. I like the volume. I like the pump. I have still never sold my DMC tokens. I have been paid 2/3 of my tokens. I'm waiting for the other 1/3 of them, some of which I'll get, I think, in a couple days, and the last of which I think I'll get some point next month. But I haven't sold any of them. It does like a 10x. Yeah, I'll sell them. Well, yeah, not really a lot, but yeah, but it does a 10x. And it should. I don't know why this wouldn't get up to $140 million. I think it goes probably a bit higher than that. It's got the IP, it's got the disruption to it. I think it probably should. In alt season, it definitely should. On my way to fill your bags. There's fun things happening. Agreed. And Vampires ETH gas fees on base wallet were crazy. Yeah, bro. It was like doing like a $20 transaction. It was like $9 for the transaction fee. I was like, bro, girl, I was not about that life. But which life I am about is SHIRO being up 8% on the day. Love my kitty coins. SHIRO is, I think, the number 5 cat token on ETH. $1.5 million in volume today. $7.9 million market cap. Loving our SHIRO. Can't wait for some certain projects to happen. And we'll take our SHIRO and see what do we have here last day. SHIRO Nico and the Battle of the Tree Souls from X Your Meme. I guess that's that looks really cool. I love people's creations. They're so smart. They're so freaking awesome. Also, SHIRO and Bitto together to start the bull run. Too much majestic power. Don't you agree? Bitmart Exchange. Friends, meow. Love them. Good times. And I love how Bitmart said, let's go. Bitmart replied. 1.4 million followers replied to SHIRO Nico. And they said cat and unicorn. Speaking of cats, they should really post about daCat, in my opinion, but we'll see. Zafacer says, let's go. What's up, Zafacer? Smart Brothers, when redemption time for VeVe and OMI? I hate to use the word soon. It sounds like things are going finally pretty well. And again, so there are still some people that, you had the knee-jerk reaction of people that had started to sell because like, oh, they're taking away cash out. That like, there's a lot of fun. There's a lot of lies going on around. But the last couple of days this week, you had the OMI Homie show. You had me. You had a bunch of people go off and make videos about like, hey, this is going to be a very net positive thing for VeVe when they get rid of cashing out fiat. It's good for VeVe because they don't have the that liability of having all these gems on their balance sheet. It can just be through OMI. It's fine. That was 100% okay. And people will want to do it because they don't want to pay that extra 10% cash out fee. Omar reposted the stream. Thank you, Omar. Good evening, Mr. Omar. But redemption time, I mean, you need green candles, right? And let's go to OMI right now. I don't think I think it's up like 4% today. Yeah, it's up 3.5% to 1977. 0.01977. $1.4 million in volume, $55 million market cap. So market cap's not bad. But this is something that is probably going to take a while. Like you have the NFTs that are out there, not VeVe ones, right? Oh, a couple of VeVe ones, but mostly non-VeVe ones that are just crushing it. Moonbird's at a $17,000 floor. Like people are crushing it. And right now we're in that time where in 2020, those $1,200 checks are being sent out and everyone's irresponsibly using them to buy Pokemon cards. And my base set cards, which is the ETH, like the ETH NFTs that are out there, Moonbirds, Pudgy Penguins, Milady Makers, those are the base set 1 cards, and they're going crazy. It's only a matter of time before that flows into digital collectibles, before that flows into the trophy cards, and it'll go parabolic. Is that time going to be in the next 3 weeks? Probably not. Maybe a little bit. But is that going to happen within the next 8 months? I'm 99.999% positive. Yes. And again, you might not have to wait 8 months. You might have to wait 3 months. You might have to. I mean, one of Bitcoin's tops will probably be October. 2 months away. The ETH top might be November. 3 months away. And then you might have to wait until then before a lot of this. A lot of this is happening while ETH is barely at all-time highs. Hasn't done near as much as what Bitcoin has done, or what it will do. And when that happens, it's gonna go insane. Omar reposting the stream. Thanks, man. Portfolio says, "What's up with OMI? Is the tokenomics going to be changed?" I mean, yes and no. You're gonna have people that wouldn't have otherwise had access to the token or bought the token. They're gonna have the token, even if they only want to use the token to cash out. They're like, listen, I don't care about OMI. I care about my collectibles. I have a bunch of them. As they go up, what do I need to do to sell? Okay, cash out for OMI on Stacker. Cool. Make an account, link the VeVe account, done. Sell OMI. What do I do now? Okay, you just swap it for USDC. Okay, cool. Can I cash it out to my Coinbase? Yeah, you can put it to Coinbase. I think you can just cash out right from Stacker because it's USDC if you connect to your bank. So it shouldn't be that hard. There are going to be people that might get a little confused, and that's fine. We'll help them. But you have these people that are going to be that would have otherwise never touched the token, and most of I'm going to say like half probably will still, like, if you haven't touched the token by now, you're probably not going to want it. You probably just want to cash out. That's cool. But I would say at least half, if not most people, would be like, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to cash out, but let me hold on to some OMI tokens. Let me just see what it does. Because at that point, they're not putting new money into it. They're taking somebody else's money, somebody else's OMI. They're going to convert most of that into fiat, USDC, cash it out. But it is of my opinion that most of these people are probably going to have a little bit of OMI. And they're going to be like, let's see what it does. Now, there's some people like myself, like as stuff goes parabolic, I'm going to cash out most of it into OMI and keep it. It won't be cashed out until much, much later. I'm not going to cash that out now. That'd be silly if I did it now. In my opinion. Maybe Zombie says, "Hey Randy, did you hear Definity and DAT are talking? We've got them together." Where did you hear that, Zombie? Let me send a something here real quick. 1 second. Oh gosh, my body. I have so many. Give me 1 second, brother. And you, meow, 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 me, meow, 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 meow. Let me know when where you heard that from. There's when are these coins you keep starting to move up, or is it not financial advice? Just dodging accountability. I mean, none of this has ever been. I don't give any financial advice to anyone on here unless somebody that I know on here is a client. Then okay, to them, sure. But as I said before, when looking at that chart, and I'll bring it up again in case you missed it, which is fine. A lot of people miss things. It would be in phase 4 in alt season. Right now, we are firmly in phase 2. We haven't really yet gotten to that overlap between phase 2 and phase 3. We're close, but we're firmly in phase 2 right now. Once we get to phase 3, then phase 4 is just around the corner. I think that can be by the end of the year. It's possible we have the beginnings of that. It's possible that starts. I mean, it's possible it happens before then, or it's possible that, like, if it's a super cycle, maybe Bitcoin doesn't top out in October. Maybe Bitcoin doesn't top out until January, February, and ETH doesn't top out until like March, April. And then you have like alt season next summer. Like we have no idea. Super cycle is not a proven fact right now. Right now, it's just purely theoretical because it's never happened. But I think it can. You know, the makings of it are there. And okay, hold on. Meow, 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 meow. That and are. Okay. Pot whoever, my man, still here, getting that bread. O'Malley should come to in real life events too, if he wants to. He can. He doesn't. He seems to not want to, which is his choice. Would be cool to. I'm curious on who he is and what he looks like and what you know, just about him. I'm just curious about it. But I mean, again, if he wants to. Potts whoever says trying to. Yeah, we're gonna get that bread. Chad D says, let's go. Tom? It's Tom. Was I nothing really celebrate yet since all our alts are still down bad? I mean, I'm in the black on Definity, so and DMC I didn't pay for, so and daCat I am way up on, and SHIRO same thing. So I'm good. I'm chill. I'm chill right now. However, so apparently on Bleaves Crypto podcast today, he mentioned that DEVVE and Definity were talking. He not sure he was supposed to say that. But cat's out of the bag. What are they? Am I Ozzy Osbourne in 04? When did that song come out? Hang on one second. When did 07? Really? It came out in 07? Okay, am I Ozzy Osbourne in 2007? Because I don't know what they're talking about. I do know what they're talking about, but I can't say it. They are. I'll just believes is not. He's not lying. They're talking about what? Super secret for right now. Smart buys is at West. When time for a Comey VeVe? I don't know. Maybe soon. Maybe end of the year. Maybe early next year. Maybe mid next year. I don't know. Oh, you got it right from before. Oh, you got that. You got that. Go Monstars. Go Monstars. Go go. Omicron, I just bought another $100. OMI dollar cost average every day. Let's go. Let's get that bread. All right, we did DMC, we did SHIRO, daCat. Oh, did we do DEVVE yet? I don't think we did. Let's go to DEVVE. DEVVE up 6.3% today. Up a little bit, just a little bit. 116. Well, that volume is just from Uniswap. The actual volume actually is 324,000. Oh, that is low. That is low AF. $42 million market cap. Can't wait. I can't wait. So yeah, they are. Here's something from DEVVE today. The X post by DEVVE, actually, it's actually on their X account. Is it DEVVE ecosystem? Building, no. Okay, so yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. DEVVE had said, we're working towards getting our CASP and our VASP licensing. CASP is crypto asset service provider, and VASP is virtual asset service provider. These licenses are required to operate compliant digital asset venues, ensuring our tech meets the same legal bar as traditional exchanges. Now, Definity got their VASP license last year. They've been banking for 20 years. They're regulatory compliant. They have a bunch of institutional clients like already that are using them. and they're making a lot of money on it. I go over all the time that Definity is making a ton of money, and they are, how would I put this? They got that money coming in. DEVVE, to my knowledge, I don't know how much money they have coming in. They could raise however much they want. Will Stewart is a god, and he could make it so that they get a lot of, like, now maybe DEVVE would, and honestly, this is pure speculation. By going with this, talking about their vast, like, if they've been talking about this for months, and I remember going through this with Definity, they had to wait for their virtual asset service provider license for a long time. And if I'm looking at this from an outside point of view, which I technically am, DEVVE said they've been trying to get this for a while and they don't have it yet. What easier way to get it than to do some like cross shareholder, like being able to maybe absorbed by Definity in order to get that license? Like, I've seen companies do that all the time, where they absorb another company specifically for a license. And I don't think Mana would sell down here, but maybe they could come to some type of agreement. Like, maybe you can keep, like for like when Disney bought Marvel, right? Marvel still pretty much operates independently. They just do it under the Disney brand. And I feel like if that something like that were to happen, it would be something like that. Hey, keep doing what you're doing. We don't want to change anything. We just want to access you to your VASP license, and let Mana just continue doing what he's doing, just under that umbrella. I don't know what that would look like. And again, this is just pure speculation on my part for that. But again, that's out of the small puzzle pieces I have here and there. That's what I'm getting. So yeah, I've been dollar cost averaging on both of these quite a lot. Kumo saying, hoping for a big announcement at D23. I don't think we're going to get that. Disney might have something cool, though. Digital Toys with Tommy saying, did I miss an announcement about self-custody? I've seen a few posts about OMI roadmap. Well, depends how often you've been here. I don't know how they're going to do it. This is going to be like, so you had OpenSea that had never really, they've never not endorsed, fortified, backed up, confirm. God, what the hell is the name of that word? They've never enforced royalties. There's like, yeah, you could have your royalty, whatever. We're not going to enforce that. They've never enforced that. So that's probably a big reason why Disney, Marvel, like anyone doesn't want to become interoperable. Like, then they lose their 6%. So I don't think people are going to do that. But yeah, Dr. Profit in an interview, I think with Max from the Only Homies, say that he's going to do he's been working on interoperability since January. I don't know what that looks like. Like, do you know somebody at OpenSea? Like, how much is OpenSea worth? Can they buy them? There's no way, right? There's no way. I think OpenSea is like $1 billion, $2 billion. Now, they were worth like 15 billion. Now, maybe the talks of them becoming enforcing, it's not really showing me. It might actually be less. They might actually be like $500 million, maybe. I mean, now they're on the rise, but yeah, I don't know how that would work. Like, how do you get OpenSea to enforce these royalties, and how do you get them to do it like forever? Like, sign a contract or any and all VeVe NFTs is what you have to do. I don't know. But David and Dan are just monsters with licensing and connections, and honestly, that is 75% of the game right there. And Dr. Profit and his tech people are so good. This is such a different company from 6 months ago, for a year ago. And it's a different company in just the best way. And Yeah, I don't know what's going to go up first. Is it collectibles? Is it? I mean, certain collectibles have gone up and always stayed the same, stayed flat. So I think the evidence points to the collectibles going up first. But no, there hasn't been any announcement. It's just the speculation on the interoperability because I mean, he's talked about it before. And if you're working on, if it's not like, okay, you have this team of, I never went to college. All right, you have this team of like, I don't know where Dutch Prop went to college either, but let's say you have these team of like normal, like your average Joes, right? Your average people thinking about how to solve a problem. Even like above average people trying to solve a problem is not the same as Dr. Profit and his team trying to solve a problem for 8 months. It's just not like they're. I don't know what type of solution they're coming up with, but I know it's going to be big. I know it's going to be legendary, and it'll work. Stacker runs very smoothly. The OMI roadmap has been fantastic. The announcements they've made, giving the utility, is going to be insane. And I think I went over all the tokens right now. Yeah, so we'll get to the news soon. Does anyone know what OMI looks like? Apparently, he's black. That's really all I know about him. I'm not self-aware. Let's go bullish on OMI. Oh, I love your picture with the cat thing needs a tiger. That looks like the mirror. Oh, never mind. No, it doesn't. What happened to not allowing ladies Solana going under 20 or 15K? So I've been talking to Pixie about the token, and there's been like these three, like every time I was buying, it's like these three wallets that were like dumping, and like I'm pretty sure we know who they are. And I was like, okay, I'm pretty much just cashing those people out, and it's like I will buy once the wallets are empty, because again, you get the people that were cashing out at that price. It was a lot easier for me if I mean, and we could do it here too, right? But instead of playing that game of like yo-yo and cat and mouse, I'm like, okay, let me wait until they're out and then I'll run it up, because I don't want to like keep a floor where they're just going to keep selling. I'd rather wait until they're out, and they're not out yet. That being said, it is at a pretty low market cap. So on that, maybe they're just going to play that wait game. Like, okay, I don't need to cash out at these prices. I'll wait for you to pump it back up again. And fair point, they could do that, right? So I probably should do a little buying. I don't know how many people are going to cash out as soon as I start buying, which again is fine. I'll take the ladies token down here. Be advised, I'm already at 14% of this project. Like I own 14% of this project, which is fine. I'll keep on doing that. Let me look at it real quick, because I might actually be higher up at this point. Let me count. There is, okay, we're gonna do it right now. I do 5.2 plus 8. Okay, plus plus what's the last one? Okay, yeah. I have over 14.5% of the ladies token supply. So I will 100% take this to the promised land at some point. I really have to wait. And I've tried to reach out to these people for like other OTC deals, and they just haven't gotten back yet. And I was like, okay, well, we'll wait. I'll wait. So I just got a little bit more down here. But I really want to wait for those wallets to get out before I again, they might not. They might want to wait for me to buy back up there. They'll put it down, and we'll play that game. But that's the reason why. Smart Buy saying interoperability will come, but might be limited to a few marketplaces like Stacker. Disney Marketplace, etc. It won't be open to others until they do the contract with fees and build. Yeah, again, I don't know how they do that. You know, we'll see. We'll see. John Davies said we need to know who OMI is. I mean, if you really wanted to, I'm sure you could. I not that I don't like. We have this professional courtesy with each other. I just I don't. Not I don't. I'm not gonna say I don't care who people are. I just I don't want to force anything. Like I don't want to be like, you tell me your real name, or I'm gonna lose it. You know, like I don't. That doesn't make sense. Like if they want to, you know, I love people anyway. I love people as they are. And just because they're not sharing like their real name doesn't mean that they're not telling you who they are through their actions, through his spaces, through whatever. I think that, you know, if you love him anyway, just love him anyway, regardless of the combination of letters in which we address him by is different than his legal government name. So yeah, I think we know who he is. We just don't know how the government tracks him, which is fine. Justin Faison, good evening, sir. Good evening. Was that I'd value? I think they're definitely above 30 million. But you know, who knows? Who knows? Well, as I heard someone generate 600 million per year in fees, 30 million. But yeah, I think they're definitely. Oh, is that it? Oh, okay, very good, very good. All right, let's go to let's go through. Where am I here? Let's go through some news. Let's get the spread. No, get the fudge out of here. Mix these photos. All right, where were we? An original Coca-Cola bottle like this sold for $250,000. So the one of one that we might not have, or that we might have for, what is it? For VeVe tomorrow, maybe it reaches 1%. You know, it might go for 2.5K. Does it go for 25K? Probably not. Could it go for Could it go for $10,000? This one of one tomorrow. Probably not, but the odds are greater than zero. I'm going to set my goals on reality goals. Why do? Oh my god. Sorry, I have a. The heck is this? Okay, nice. Kill him. Coolio. Sorry, there's a bunch of people giving me some. Hit me up, and right now, we'll find out. They will find out. Oh my god. My guy. Cracker Barrel loses $100 million in value after divisive logo refresh. That is wild. Okay, everyone should go in. DACat. What was I saying? Okay, that didn't matter. Summer long. Oh god. The Comey Secret logo is going wild. CFTC launches crypto sprint initiative to advance President Trump's digital assets agenda. World of Warcraft housing gameplay. Midnight Player housing early access. I think Metaverse is going to go pretty hard this cycle. I think Digital Land will go pretty hard. World of Warcraft is releasing houses. It's been in development for years. I think VeVe should do this as well, in my opinion. Flight, okay, major, okay, milestone, very good. No idea who this is. A person in California has tested positive for the plague. That's interesting. No chance OpenSea generates that much money from fees. There's barely any traffic on that site. I haven't checked in a long time. I don't really care to. BlackRock sold $127 million in Bitcoin yesterday and bought $233 million in Ethereum. Money flowing into ETH. EU accelerates plans for digital euro stablecoin with potential rollout on Ethereum or Solana blockchain. Oh, my friend. Oh. Every now and then a memory comes up, and Different one. Ex-lover. Anyway, people are on this day. 5 years ago, I was heading to a friend's house. It was like his last party for the summer, I think, before like the kids went off to school. And I was in an Uber ride with just whoever was driving me. And I was like, hey, in an Uber ride, I think I was on Lucy. And I was like, come ask us anything. And my tattoo artist from tomorrow for like next week, she's been my tattoo artist for years, like almost a decade. We've known each other for a long time. She asked me to ask him, are people as obsessed with eating ass and being depressed there also? Talking about where he was from, like Venezuela. And I was like, he has never heard of that. And he says they're not into that nonsense. Later that day, I had also mentioned that I'm pretty sure we are mostly computer code. Looking more into Schrodinger's cat, and the necessary if and let statements wouldn't require that much more computational power for multiple universes. I think I knew this for a while, but it was clear for the last half a decade. I can't wait for everyone to find out what Definity's working on. It's going to be incredible. Fed Chair Jerome Powell suggests current condition may warrant interest rate cuts, so that's why everyone went all crazy today. We've had 1,000 people purchase a NFT on VeVe via a promotional code enter, a promotional code last week, and only 13 new people last week. It's a little concerning. But as far as the wallets that are active, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 7 out of the last 10 days, you had over 1,000 users, and the lowest we went is 800. So I'm pretty happy about it. Ash Crypto Real is breaking. Canada will remove retaliatory tariffs on many U.S. goods, which is very bullish for markets. There is a new daCat game. I'm not very good at it yet, but there's a new daCat game that's out there. I should put it in down below. I don't know. Do I have it? I don't think I have. I'll put it down in the description at some point. Not today, obviously. Also, while I'm going over the news, it'd be great if y'all can smash that like button. It's a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon, smash the super thanks button down below. Super chats as well. My man. Not plead the fifth of Jack again when I go back to Philippines introduced bill to create a national Bitcoin reserve. Ash Crypto Real says this is massive. Like, my guy, it's Philippines. They don't have that much money, but it is still pretty cool. 218 billion was added to the crypto market between 11 a.m. yesterday and 11 a.m. today. There's online betting gift cards at DraftKings. That's insane. Yep, that too. So apparently, Disney initiative admits that Star Wars and Marvel has failed, looking for new boy brands. Disney's looking to buy a new boy brand. Apparently, there's a lot of value in that brand, and I think daCat, which I'm so close to getting a different thing about daCat. I'll let you guys know. Something's going to happen. daCat will go from 150K valuation to 250, honestly, and that's still probably way too low. But definitely making some moves with daCat here. I made a post about it for President Trump to fire Fed Governor Lisa Cook if she doesn't resign. BlackRock bought another $233 million worth of Ethereum. ETH shorts got wrecked. Trump World Liberty Finance has bought $5 million worth of Ethereum. Head of IRS crypto unit Trish Turner resigns. So let's go. Wasn't Lisa Cook, but I'll take it. First appearance of Nathaniel Richards is coming out on Thursday the 28th. That is Mr. Fantastic's dad. That was pretty cool. I'll probably go for that. U.S. government now officially owns a 10% stake in Intel, or INTC. The stock market added more than $1 trillion today, which is great. FIFA has said the following about cryptocurrency-related partnerships. Crypto.com, official sponsor of the FIFA World Cup Qatar in 2022, serving as the exclusive cryptocurrency trading platform with extensive branding exposure. Algorand, regional supporter for the FIFA World Cup Qatar from 2022 in North America, Europe, providing blockchain-supported wallet solutions and supporting FIFA Collect, FIFA's NFT platform. FIFA in the USA is huge thanks to Trump, where he mentioned them in a speech today. Grayscale files for an S1 for the XRP ETF. Good for them. Can't go over that. We have Robert Geek over on Facebook. Sorry, saying, my concerns aren't about the prices of collectibles right now. What I'm truly concerned about is why VeVe removed the easy cash out option, gems to fiat, and why the new option through Stacker, which is OMI to fiat, is so complicated. I don't think the cash out option on Stacker is complicated. However, I know that sometimes the VeVe app works really well for me and it doesn't for others. And sometimes the opposite happens where it's like, bro, why is the VeVe app so slow today? And someone's like, I've been good all day. It's like, shit, mine stuff is not loading. So it's very possible that I've just had an easy time using Stacker. And there are other people that maybe just, haven't had it, not from anything that they're doing or not doing, but just because sometimes that's how electronics work. Give me 1 second here. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh dear. Oh gosh. Sorry, hang on. Copy. I don't know who this. Okay. Definitely cat. Not just any cat, but daCat. Paste. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Specifically to cat. Thank you to God. He says, to be honest, I feel a bit disrespected. I'm a 48-year-old man who has been with VeVe for 4 years and is well informed about the platform. I'm also heavily invested in Disney Pinnacle, so I understand the digital collectible space really well. He continues on to say, what bothers me most is how during your live streams, you refer to people who struggle with crypto and cashing out as grandma. Well, I mean, yeah, a lot of times it's kind of what it, but mostly when I say it is really talking about in the future, like the most people who will have a hard time with it are probably going to be grandma or grandpa. At 48, you can definitely have grandchildren. But yeah, so when, like, I never mean that as like, and I just, as a matter of fact, like a lot of times as you get older, you kind of let technology pass you by, and a lot of grandma and grandpas are probably not going to have a fun time with this. So again, I mean no disrespect. You continue on to say, I own 17 million OMI, and I still have no idea how to cash it out via Stacker. I wonder if anyone's like shown him though. I don't know if. Anyway, he says, I have a Coinbase account, but my bank blocks transfers. What then? Then that's probably on your bank, I'm guessing. I don't see how that's Stacker or VeVe's fault if your bank blocks transfers. But anyway, he goes on to say, I don't like crypto, and I don't want to deal with the mess of bridging, swapping, or creating multiple accounts across platforms just to access my money. This process is not easy, not for me, and definitely not for a younger person trying to enter the space without crypto knowledge. Yeah, so let me go to that again. I don't like crypto, and I don't want to deal with the mess of bridging, swapping, or creating multiple accounts across platforms just to access money. I get it. It is much harder to do it with crypto than it is from fiat. Why? Because we know fiat. Fiat's what we've lived with, in your case, for 48 years. But it's similar to like somebody that's had a NES, an SNES, Nintendo 64. It's simple. You blow on the game, you put it in, you press start. You're good. Like Nintendo's very simple. And then, PlayStation. Okay, I've never had a PlayStation. I've heard of them. What's this now? Now there's a PlayStation 2. What's going on? And it's like, okay, we have your controllers, but they're not. You don't blow on it. They're a disc. Okay, it's a disc, and you put it in here. And wait, why isn't my game saving? Like, well, I just did this. Why do I have to do it again? You need a memory card now? I need to put something in it. Like, it doesn't just save to the game. That's dumb. Like, I feel like anyone that has only dealt with fiat And now they're going to crypto. It's similar to someone just like having like, okay, I did it this way for years. Now there's this new disc. Like any new technology has its barriers. Any new technology has people that will resist, and they're just like, listen, I don't want to have to do that. Why make it so complicated? Because if you were to put in, let's say, like Final Fantasy, one of the Final Fantasy games, like that already came in like 2 discs, right? If you were to put it on cartridges, that would have taken like 16 cartridges to do. So it's just a lot better. And again, crypto is a lot faster. So I understand when he says, I don't like crypto. I don't want to deal with the mess of bridging, swapping, creating multiple platforms just to access my money. I understand. And I assume you are representing millions, if not hundreds of millions of people who don't like crypto. They don't want anything to do with crypto. They just want to access their money. But this is the way the world is moving. And it's going to happen regardless of whether people like it or not. And it's just, by all means, you can take your gems that you have now, swap out of them into fiat for the next couple months. And I get it. Okay, well, what happens after the 19th? And I want to sell something. Now I'm going to have to figure this out. I get it. Mr. Geek, I've seen you on Facebook every now and then. You seem like a smart dude. You're here. And I feel like, I assume Foster's made a video or someone's made a video. Once someone just shows like, hey, here's how you do it. And you do it like I don't have a great sense of direction, right? Anyone like over the age of like 45, if I were to ask them for directions, all right, you take the 103 and then you go south for about 5 miles. Once you hit the, the Dairy Queen, you make a right, and then you go on the 106. It's like my guy. It is 2021. Can you just give me the address? I am not going to understand these directions. I just need the address. So I get that. So even when I have like the directions and like I have to go to a new address probably like 4 or 5 times before I don't need the GPS anymore. It takes me a while. It takes me a couple of trips to go to this new address and then go back in order to be like, okay, I don't need the GPS anymore. I know where I'm going. Whereas somebody with a good sense of direction, they could be like, okay, cool. And they do it once and it's fine. So I feel like, Robert, you might be similar to me in that like you haven't done it before and it's complicated, but once you do it a few times, like me going to a new address, it'll be like, okay, I get it now. And then you could show others. You say the process is not easy for me and definitely not for younger people in general will just always have an easier time with technology. That's just how they're wired. But yeah, a younger person that has no crypto knowledge, it does, young or old, if you have no crypto knowledge, you're gonna be like confused as heck the first time doing it, regardless of your age, because it is confusing at first, daunting. Say, well, I'm glad there's some utility being built around OMI. I'm really disappointed that VeVe has removed a simple one-click fiat cash out option, which again, they haven't removed that yet. You have a couple months for that. And the new method through Stacker is frankly a nightmare. I understand how, again, a lot of this seemed daunting. And I am imagining here, I don't know, but the process as it is right now is learnable, I think, fairly easily. I assume nobody's showing you how to do it, which is fine. Someone will do that at some point. But I imagine the process will probably get even easier before the rollout of this happens. Not a guarantee, but I think it probably would, in my opinion. Oh gosh, where am I here? Oh god, there's been some comments. OpenSea is dead. NFTs are dead. I mean that's a lie, and you're just flat out wrong. And I don't know if you're trolling there, but suffice it, you had Moonbirds go from literally $420 in April to over $17,000 floor now. So again, that one fact right there, disproving that point. There's interoperability will be the end for OMI. OMI fees should be integrated in every transaction if interoperability is enabled. All right, so I'm really confused here. You're saying that interoperability will be the end for OMI, and then you turn around and say, like, well, if interoperability is enabled, OMI fees should be integrated. Like, again, I can't tell if you're trolling or not because you're legit contradicting yourself just on those statements. But interoperability should be a very good thing for both the collectibles and for OMI. And yeah, the fees should be. The second part of your statement, I agree with. They should be integrated in every transaction if interoperability is enabled. I'm not so. That is why VeVe sells digital collectible. So advised as OpenSea is very widely known, even when NFTs make a comeback. I mean, they kind of are now. OpenSea is the most mainstream for NFTs out there. I agree, they are. Just is offended by the grandma comment. Sounds like grandpa. I think he was offended at being called a grandma when. I mean, I don't know why I remember this. So so 48 isn't old. Like I've dated people older than him, right? I've dated people around his age when I was a teenager, right? I had a 45-year-old lady friend at 19, and that was a great summer. That was a great time. Oh, chef's kiss. Anyway, but I remember being a teenager, and this one guy, this one I won't say is Danny something. He's got lived right across the street from like a bowling alley, and there was these like they were like maybe 12, maybe like 13. But there were these like three kids that were just like they found a stick and they were whacking it against the fence and not really doing anything bad. They were just having a little too much fun. And my friend Danny's dad comes out and is like, "Hey, kid, well, what do you do? You can't be breaking, sticks on my property. I got to clean that up. What do you do?" And they're like, "Give me the stick." So they drop the stick, like, like the kids were just like done, like, okay, like whatever, dude. And then they go on their way, and then like, I don't know what am I like. I don't know if I was running or if I was like, why I was there, and maybe I was kind of bowling alley for whatever reason, and he like looks at me. He's like, "These kids, ain't no old man living here. I tell you that." And he was like 45, 48 at the time, and I was just like, and again, I'm like teenager, and I was like, really? No old man? I didn't say anything, but when he's like, "Ain't no old man living here," when you're like 14, 15, in your 40s, you're old. Like grandpas, you're old. But again, now even years later, okay, 19 dating a 45-year-old. All right, I guess mid 40s isn't that old. God, that was good times. Oh my God. Anyway, so I think he just doesn't want to at 48 be associated because like back in the day, guys, 25 like 30 years ago, if you were 50, like you were dead. Like you were old, you were fat, you had this like you were dead. Like you had in the 90s, if you were 50, you were at the end of your life. Like you had no idea what was going on. Like like that meme? It's like two geckos like staring at you, or it says like when you're telling a story and grandma and grandpa have no idea what's going on, but they're supportive anyway. Back in the day, if that was 50, like I don't know, you just didn't get anything. Like you just like didn't understand anything. Like you did. It's like you mentally checked out like years ago. Like life had sucked out your soul so much. And granted, a lot of it was nutrition. Like back in the day, people didn't work out. Like some people did, right? But like most people like didn't work out. That's horrible. Like you should work out. You should God treat your body good. So either with him at 48 might just think like, okay, grandma is like a grandma. They're old, they're frail, they have the glasses, they carry exact change for everything. And nowadays, again, 48, I don't want to say as young because you're not 20, but you're not old. Like to a 19-year-old, to a teenager, yeah, you're old. But to the rest of us adults, you're just like just another person. You're just chill. You're just I knew a kid in, man, I knew this dude in the military that technology might as well have been an alien language to him. And this fucking one supervisor like, nope, he's gonna learn how to use a computer. I was like, why? Why do you need this guy to learn how to use a computer? It makes no sense. He can do like a download. He can do all this stuff by himself. He works with his hands. He's good with machines. Why are you so fucking stupid that you're trying to make him learn how to use a computer? Be fucking smart about, like, oh my God, the amount of fucking yelling fights I got into. The military is great for so many things, but the amount of stupidity in there knows no bounds. Like that one Einstein quote says, the expansion of the universe and human stupidity is infinite, but I'm not really sure about the universe. Anywho, the dude's probably either feeling like, okay, yeah, I'm not a grandma. I'm 48. You know, because nowadays, like, again, I've dated people older than him. Fine, 48's fine. 48, you could just be a dad of like a. You could not a young dad. You could be a dad of like a young kid, like a, you know, like a preteen. They'd be single digit. You know, like you could be a dad of like a toddler at 48. Or you actually could be a grandpa. You know, like there's some leeway there depending on people's life choices. Me, unless there's already a little Randy Chavez out there, which it's possible, there's probably not going to be one. There is. If I were to have one, let's say in like a couple years, oh God, I'm gonna be such an old dad. God, I'd be like a 50 and the kid's like a teen, like that. Oh God, that would be awful. Part of me hopes, well, not what I hope it never happens, right? Like, don't want that, but if it were to happen, can it just be some like white lady from like, I don't know, like a decade ago, or heck, at this point, 2 decades ago, and just be like, hey, this little brown child is yours. Well, fudge. Not that I would want a 20-year-old, but I don't know. 12, 13-year-old kid would be cool. Like, do you play Pokemon? Okay. Let's go play Pokemon. I think that would be fun. But the 0 to like 7, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Anywho, he might have been offended by that. John W says, you think it's the right move to force people to use OMI? Yes, 100%. Most people already want to do that. Anyway. This just gives it more utility. It's perfect. Yeah, perfect. David Pena says, dude starts by saying he has all the experience in crypto. Complains crypto. Yeah. It says, OMI to gem is gold. I agree. OMI to gem is amazing. And anything to give more utility to, and they're giving it a lot of utility. I've said, Jason Pena, you can't be this mean. I have 17 billion OMI. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. You guys make me laugh so much. I love you guys. I had no intention of getting on Stacker. Was hoping to be able to cash out through. Yeah, I mean, you'll get to that soon enough. Also, I am thirsty. Water's so good, right, Mr. Turtle Duck? Tweet tweet. Cordial says, I didn't plan on using Stacker and want to be able to cash out through VeVe and selling any collectibles. Now I'm just gonna sit and wait it out. Just along for the ride at this point. I feel you. Same. San Bocasa says, the future isn't fiat. Anyone can figure out Stacker and will only get easier. I agree. Some people say the future is female. I say the future is crypto. Oh, very good. We're done with that. We're going to get along over here. Oh, God, hiccups. Oh, God, more hiccups. Okay, where am I? Oh, God, more hiccups. I'm not self-aware. I'm curious why not allow OMI to gem without removing cash out. Well, OMI to gem really has nothing to do with cash out. It's just they did that to get, like, they're separate things. Like OMI to gem is one thing on its own, and then cash out is another. Like they're just, there's no rhyme or reason why they were just said at the same time as with a bunch of other things, but they weren't connected. So I can't even handle a few. That happens all the time. Like Stagger's been running for like over a year. They're good. They're Gucci. Jails, I disagree. Stagger is very easy to use, but some people want to simply click an Apple app, but that hinders growth due to Apple monopoly and dissuades the web. I agree. I agree 100%. I think it's easy to use. But again, if nobody's ever shown you how to use it and it's just this random thing and you have to like click and explore, I get how it can be daunting. You need to make a compromise here and see the big picture. Agree. And that's pretty much what most people are doing. Sam McCall says, I'm sure there are people that refuse to use the wheel as well. Wheels, cars, like people didn't want to use books at first because people were like, well, if the information is like stored in books, how are you going to memorize anything? There's no reason to like memorize anything. Oh, it's just in book. Yeah, go get a book. Go get a book. You know, you don't need to memorize it. You don't need to use your brain. It's sitting in a book. There's people that are always dismissive of new technology. Like, oh, you want to use a car and you have to pay to fuel it? My horse eats grass for free. The earth gives it to us. Cars break down all the time. They use these. What if you run out of gas and you're not near a gas station? My horse isn't going to run out of gas. Eventually, my horse will die, and I get a new one, which is readily available. I don't have to worry. Like, again, people were against the vehicle. People were against books. People were against like the printing press. They're just like, listen, these little imperfections that happen, like this is art, Mr. White. This is how you know it's done with care. Is like a printing press. Like if a mistake happens, it happens 18 million times. People are always like that one, and this quote has been used many times. People are always afraid of what they don't understand. The same thing with the computers. Why would I want a computer? Like, I want to talk to someone. Like, what's a modem? Oh, so you can talk to other computers. You can just pick up the phone and talk to someone. You don't need to like have this big expensive box and type on. Or you're not really talking to people. And that trope was used for like 20 something years, 30 years. I mean, even I was talking with a friend the other day about, she said, and I hear this all the time from people my age saying like, dude, these kids, they're horrible. Like the world is screwed. It's going to hell. I like everyone says that about the next generation. It happens all the time. The world will be fine. Like there's a God, what is it? A YouTube channel called the Fine Bros. They used to be called the React channel. They changed to the Fine Bros a while ago, and they have these React things. One was just people react to stuff. Then they had like YouTubers react. They had teenagers react, elders react, and one of the videos for elders react was them reacting to. Now, a lot of times it was like teens reacting to older things, elders reacting to like new things. But on this one, they wanted to go down a trip down memory lane, and they wanted to have elders react to Elvis. And they were like, "Oh yeah, you know." Every single one of them. Now, and this video is like 7 years old, a decade old. It's an old video, maybe 8 years, 10 years old. So these were elders in like 2015. So now they're either dead or anyway. They had talked about how back when they were young and Elvis first came out in the 50s, they're like, oh, my parents hated him. Like everyone's parents are just like, this isn't music. You know, he's destroying music. That's what he's doing. He's corrupting the youth. And this one lady's like, oh, my parents blamed everything I did wrong on Elvis. Everything I did wrong was because of Elvis. Saying like, oh, no decent man acts like that. You know, swiveling his hips. Like It's Elvis. Oh my God, that's insane. It's insane how people are just so stupid. And it's like, dude, it's just the evolution. Like younger people tend to, like a moth to a flame, go to things that want to be different. They grew up on certain things, like like the big band. Like if you're 50, you grew up in like the big band era, like stuff that's just so slow and so like ugh. When some like, oh, this is new, this is cool, it's hip, it's fast, it's you know, yeah. I really wish that I could and I do, like every time someone brings this up, and it's like, no, the world is screwed. I was like, no, it's not, dude. Like I swear it's not. Um, but I've seen it happen my entire life. People tell me when I was younger, like, oh, this rap stuff is never gonna last. Like, yeah, like okay, like Eminem's like one of the biggest artists like of my time. Um, Green Day, Avril Lavigne. Back in the day, it was like back in the day they were calling Green Day like too political. It's like, yeah, but what about now? How about now? Um, yeah, they're like, again, anything. They're very resistant to change and what we like. I I've always enjoyed siding with the younger people on things because you have. That's why I love Stranger Things so much. It's you have people that are, hey, let's do like the right thing, and a lot of people that want to do like the right things, like they used to cover their ass. Like, yeah, right thing is to like stay inside, and it's like the kids want to go find their missing friend. Some adults are doing that, and most adults aren't doing that because they claim that like, oh, it's safer to stay inside. Okay, fair point, but you're not going to find anyone by staying inside. And I get like, okay, you're someone's missing. If you have a bunch of people go out looking, other people might go missing. Kids, oh God, kids are so awesome with that, where they just like, I'm going to find my friend, and I don't care what type of danger it puts me in, and that's just the bond that kids have, and I fucking love that. Um, and there a lot of times younger people are willing to do things that older people just are not. That's why military starts recruiting. They start recruiting at like 17, but they at 18 because you're 18, you're young, like you're willing to do things that. Yeah, there was this race car driver, I forget his name, when he had said, "It's time to pack it up when you see a move that you would have done when you were younger, but you're not doing now because it's too dangerous." And he says, when you see that, that's when you know it's time to move on. I think about some military stuff. It's just and we would all like most of my veteran friends would like to think that yeah, we'd still do it. We could. And granted, once my back gets better, it's slowly starting to get better, and maybe I could do some of the things that I used to back in the day. But um, we know that deep in our hearts, even if we don't want to admit it, that like Rocky talking to Apollo, we can't do that the same we did it before. We're like turning into regular people. Um, Apollo says, I don't want to change. I like who I am. I like who you are too, but we can't do that the way we did it before. Um, Great movie, great dialogue. Honestly, like that one thing, like, youth is wasted on the young. So I was talking to a buddy of mine, like today, I think. Um, and it was about like between the young people, like things just relationships are just better when you're younger. Like take you back. I mean, for me, it was like 15. Because like first love, right? Think about the first love of the hey, and I'm not talking about like your first time being like intimate with someone. Again, that could be that too, but the first time where it's like, okay, you've dated a bit, you've known a couple people biblically a bit, but this one is special. Like this one, there's histories, relationship, and again, I'm just talking about my own. And I don't know, just that whole first, like, kind of like love, like, puppy love, call it like just they can do no wrong. You legit get butterflies. You like love everything about them. Looking at them with rose-colored glasses, and you're not really too sure yet how to act in public, and you're like kind of freaking the other people around you out. I was like, okay, guys, you cool it with the kissing here. You don't need to do this every 2 seconds. And think about them when they're not there, and it's like, you, as you get older, you kind of realize, okay, that's probably never going to happen again. And you don't realize, it's like that Andy quote from The Office, where it's like, I wish you could tell you were in the good old days before you've actually left them. And that, yeah, it sucks when you have that realization. Like, yeah, me and my friends went riding bikes for the last time, and we never knew it. Or like, I never knew that this type of love would never find me. And it's like, man, I wish I would have enjoyed that just a little bit more when I was younger. Because you know, like you get older, and then again, life just gets sucked out of you, and you have the, you know, like protect yourself. Like, okay, let's not let him get too close, because I remember the last time I got my heart broken, and it was fucking awful. Anyway, I feel like I'm getting way off base here, but yeah, people definitely refuse to use the wheel as well. Jason Payne says the first big OMI only IP drop will get all these betas pretty quick. I think so too. Oh, hello. We got Bitmart saying, any crypto community want to make your own Bito? Download the Bito PFP template, blah, 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 blah. Shiro Nico saying, oh, look at Shiro Nico. Oh, doing that. And then Bitmart says, wow, love it. Unicat or Catacorn? Bruh. Love how Bitmart and Shiro getting that bread together. Mm-hmm. For you. Tonight. Okay, very good. Very good. Where are we at here? JL saying, I have people offering me over $1,700 right now for each one of my Mooncats. NFTs are alive and well. You just need the right ones. Agreed, sir. Agreed. How many Mooncats you got? How many? You got 3 of them? You can get a sign for a gold logo. Jason Payne 2000. Randy, your patience is admirable. I just can't. Some people should not be like. Look, I remember that song Ferrets from like 2009. Eugenics really makes the case. Oh god, that song was hysterical. I get in trouble for this. In the veterinary field, you are considered a responsible breeder if you have let's say you have, like, you know, these little dogs, you're gonna breed them, and then you say, like, okay, wait a minute, this dog has hip dysplasia. I don't want to breed this dog because this dog has hip dysplasia. You don't want to pass that trait down into. There are so many unwanted other puppies in this world. I'm not going to breed this dog and give another sick puppy in this world. I'm only going to breed the dogs that are void of any of these negative traits here that people don't want, like these medical traits. So again, you're considered you're considered an irresponsible breeder if you breed a dog with a medical condition that is hereditary. And honestly, everyone's got a medical history. Like everyone's has like a history of heart disease in their family. Like that's like a human thing mostly. But like I have rheumatoid arthritis. I had a lot of fucked up teeth when I was younger. Sometimes even now. We'll get those fixed in a couple of years. Hair first. If I were to implement those things, like saying, like, hey, there are literally so many kids, unwanted kids, all the time. Like, you know, maybe we should. An idea, and I'd love to see a simulation run about this. Like, what would happen if we took some of these people, like myself, that really has like a lot of these medical issues that you know, maybe we don't let them. Maybe we say, like, hey, heavily try to dissuade them to not breed. Especially like anyone like. So I'll say this as well. Military has and this is the military. They have a rule that says if you have under an 82 IQ, they've determined, and the military has every incentive to get as many people as they, because especially in wartime, you want to get as many qualified people into the higher level positions as possible. And so they have every incentive to want to recruit everyone. But they've determined that if you have under an 82 IQ, there is not a single job you could do in the military that isn't going to be absolutely counterproductive. And that both poses the question, like, okay, well, if the military, if like the Army with their waivers of dumb people, if they're not taking you, like, okay, what do we, and that's like 10% of the population that has that. Like, what do you do with those people? And again, you can have, I have seen some pretty awesome and smart people come from some not smart people. And yeah, it's like, do you prevent them from living life in the way that they choose? I mean, like, I don't know. That gets to very, very crazy cases. And again, there are some people that are perfectly smart and they're healthy and they're just fucking assholes and they just treat their children like shit. Like there was somebody that I knew that wasn't dumb. They weren't smart, but they weren't dumb, and mentally definitely unwell, but physically I think mostly healthy. Beat the shit out of her son for like the first 10, 11 years of his life. And that kid turned out to be fucking amazing. And it's just, it sucks because like a lot of the really awesome people I know came out of really shitty households. And just, you know, like I would love to say, okay, you are clearly not fit to, like, you're literally mentally and physically abusing this child. This child doesn't deserve it. But then in turn, that child becomes like one of the best people that I know. Super net positive, and just super awesome person. Maybe a little fucked up, but just super awesome. And it's like, I don't know how to, like, again, there's some people that shouldn't be, but because of their shitty parenting and because of the shitty examples that they gave their kids, now those kids know exactly what not to do. And now those kids know through the abuse of those people, now they appreciate people that aren't like that, and they love people that aren't like that, and they just love, like, every day not spent with those people just is a blessing. And again, so I know those people, and it's like, okay, well, these people clearly should not have been parents, but they were, and because of the shitty thing that they did, now that person is just a godsend, has been a godsend to a lot of other people, has been just, is one of the best people that I know. And that wouldn't have happened if others, so it gets really hard, you know. But then also, like, let's say if you knew that, like, if you knew that, like, okay, this person is going to have not a good time for the first, and this person's gonna be fucked up for a little while. But silver lining, that person's gonna have a good life later on. That person's gonna have a lot of lovers, gonna have a lot of friends, gonna have a great net, you know, and is gonna be a net like, how do you go in and say, like, yeah, fuck this kid's childhood, but, you know, like, and how do you go in and say, let's subject this kid to torture and just, I don't think I could consciously make that decision. And I know it's for, like, that would weigh on me so much. Yeah, this person's gonna be great, but Jesus, that is a lot of pain and suffering to get to that point. I mean, I obviously, like, as an adult, go in and be like, okay, yeah, have an adult do something really horrible for X amount of years, and it's their choice, they can consent to it. Yeah, cool. I know what's gonna happen on the other side. I'm willing to take that pain. I'm willing to take all this pain and suffering. But to just do that to an unsuspecting kid, Jesus, man. Yeah. Anyway, DB, you need to do separate lives for all the. Yeah, I know. Okay, you want to pump that? Just losing your core subscribers. My subscribership has only gone up, so I get if you're not here for like the Hey Arnold references or for Pokemon talk or what I've just been talking about the last few minutes. But literally, like the only reason why I do what I do, like why I go over VeVe and OMI, is because of the sponsors of the other channel. Without the sponsors of Definity, you know, like everything else, I don't do this. There's. So again, letting you know, you got to take what you dislike in with what you like. Well, here for OMI VeVe, not towards daCat and SHIRO. Let's be real, that's fine. Even though daCat is literally helping VeVe, you know, grow. You can have that opinion. That's cool. Because you're not here for it. And again, I understand. Doesn't mean that other people aren't. Just identify saying working out is so ass for the first couple of times. Yeah, it's hard because you don't know what you're doing, right? After that, it honestly becomes addicting. Yeah, dude, I miss it so much, and I'm so happy. Like 2 months ago, I was praying and pleading and begging to any entity that would listen. It could be God, it could be a fallen angel, it could be aliens, it could be whoever runs our simulation. Please, for the love of God, like love of all that is holy and right and good and just in the world, let me fix my back and I will do whatever. And my back is slowly being fixed through the good graces of that recliner, the inverter. And I'm waiting for that shoe to drop of, okay, what did I have to do? What are they going to take from me that now my back is getting fixed? And I have an idea of what it is, but yeah, now I'm gonna start working out again, hopefully soon. Once I know the back can take it. The fact that people are actively engaged in NFT project and so opposed to crypto shows how. Yeah, that's a good point. I think it's a great point. JL says CryptoPunks are now $235,800 each. Wow. NFTs are live. This is like when people said baseball card collecting was dead because of the junk wax era and it boomed during COVID. Great times. I just bought 2 more. So what? Just now? No. Did you? No heckin' way. Thank you. Oh wow. Let's go to the Spider-Man. Oh, by the way, the VeVe search kind of got messed up. Okay, let me filter. Gonna do collectibles, and then I guess I'll do secret rare. Hit apply. All right, Spider-Man, secret rare. It was like 2,800, right? Now it's 4,400. Let's go. Get that bread. 3 total. But says Stacker has to be the easiest website I've ever been on. I like it. It does me good. Yeah, so just 3 Mooncats. Pick up VeVe Go logo and only hits a cent, maybe. It'll be tempting as a flex. Okay, I can see that. OMI doing a 50x from here. I don't think the VeVe logo will do that. So yeah, you could probably get it cheaper ratio-wise. Michael Anthony's at Starboard bought 8.5 million shares of Pfizer. That report earnings on August 5th. If you like to look at earnings that has gotten upgrades before and after Starboard bought, what is OMI and what do they do? Who's your daddy and what do they do? So OMI is the token of the VeVe platform. And VeVe, even though, well, I shouldn't say that because OMI is actually not really used on VeVe. You will be able to take your OMI to buy gems. Gems is their currency where 1 gem is equal to $1. And you'll be able to take your OMI, swap it for gems, and use it on the VeVe app. And that's fine, but it powers the VeVe ecosystem. I should say that. Because if a lot of people, especially ETH whales, a lot of crypto natives, they don't want to take their Ethereum, sell it, creating that taxable event for USDC, sending it to their bank account, and then using their bank account to go in and buy gems. It becomes a little counterproductive and you got to wait. But if you have Ethereum, you could send it to Stacker, just a third-party website that VeVe is on. And once you have your Ethereum on Stacker, you can swap it for OMI. And then you can use that OMI to buy collectibles from Marvel, Disney, Lamborghini, Aston Martin, DC, Star Wars, Cartoon Network. Like they have 250 licenses that they have on VeVe, and a few more that haven't been announced yet. It's gonna be pretty dope. It already is pretty cool. Like first appearance, like we were talking about Spider-Man. First appearance Spider-Man on the blockchain is on VeVe. Same thing with Superman and Batman and Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader. Like this is insane. So you have a ton of these old comics as well. So OMI is the stuff that powers the VeVe ecosystem. You're able to buy all of these collectibles on Stacker, which has the VeVe NFTs on there with OMI. And then it's also going to be the main currency used in the VeVeverse. That's VeVe's version of the metaverse. And I wish they would have given us a little bit more of a roadmap. Hey, what else are we going to do in this metaverse? But OMI will be the main currency there. Outside of that, there's likely going to be other companies that might be able to use OMI for certain things, because not right now. Although Brockman blockchain and his speeches, you can do some gambling and stuff with it. I don't know how active that is. I feel like not a ton of people are talking about it right now. But there'll be other people that just want to tap into the VeVe community. They, hey, guys, we just created a game. You can use OMI in our game, and they'll try to siphon off some people there, which is fine. Whatever gives token utility, I'm cool with. So that's what kind of OMI is. The CEO of Akomi, which has the OMI token, is David Yu, who's also the CEO of VeVe. And if we're talking further about VeVe, you have Dan Crowther. Like both of these guys are super successful before they started VeVe, the digital collectibles company. And this is their baby. JL picked up his 20th Winnie the Pooh. Stacking Pooh, let's go. I don't think I have any money left on VeVe. Got 1.8 gems. 1.8 gems. So I'm kind of done for now. Kind of done. Speaking of which, I'm done for tonight. That is the show. Everyone, please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Everyone say bye-bye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi. We love you. Next time I go live, it'll be from Orlando. Let's go. Vacation Chavez. Activate. I love you guys. Bye. Yeah, right now. Never mind. I'll find someone like you. I wish nothing.